Now, I just did a video about Christian Keys and saying what he said about, him acknowledging black women and how he wasn't talking about all women in that particular Instagram post. Well, now we're going to segue into another edition of He Said What He Said, and it's about Boosie. And let me tell you something, Boosie has been saying what he has been saying and standing firm on his square ever since the whole incident with the Wade family. This is still piggybacking off of that situation. So you had what he said initially. Then you had the incident with Planet Fitness. Now you have this issue with him and Jay-Z. So basically what happened was Boosie was on this panel discussion, like a virtual panel discussion, because we can't have, them in person because of social distancing. And Charlemagne was I think he was the moderator. And he had asked Boosie something, or he has mentioned something to him. But what I'm gonna do is I actually have the audio, because someone found it and tagged it to me on Instagram, so you can hear what Boosie says out of his own mouth.
Ever feel like you needed to apologize to the Wade family? Nah. They already tried to do that. They were trying to hook up some shit with a meeting with they say Jay-Z was gonna get him on the phone and all that shit. I need to apologize to save this and save that I got coming up. They gonna, hey, tell Jay-Z I don't want to talk. Yeah, I'm not apologizing for shit. I don't give a fucking Jesus call and tell me to apologize. I said what I said, man. I felt that was right. Did you ever feel like you needed to apologize to the Wade family?
Okay, so that was the audio right there. So basically, well, first I got to ask this. Who died and elected Jay-Z to be the Negro ambassador? The reason why I say that is because it seems like a lot of times when stuff like this arrives, they always go to him to try to be the peacekeeper over the Negro class, like, black people. They did it with the NFL, and now it's happening here. As if he's the Godfather and you have to go and bow down and kiss his ring, like they did in the Godfather movie. So basically it seems like Jay-Z was trying to be that middle person and tried to get Boosie to apologize for the comments he made towards D Wade and his son Zion, because I refuse to call him by the name he has handpicked out of the letter Z and out of all the names they could find. He just basically said, I'm standing firmly on my square. I'm allowed to have an opinion about the situation. And truth be told, Boosie was not the only one that felt that way, but they target him because he's a black man who was very outspoken, who's a public figure and has a bigger platform than any of us. We can say what we said about that situation and it will fall on deaf ears because we don't have a big platform like he does. But when he said it, it rang bells and whistles went off when he said it, because I would say he was more blunt with it. He wasn't PC at all. He didn't try to sugarcoat nothing. He said what he said and he stands firmly on his square. And it's about time, because people who are in that industry, they often sugarcoat things or they backpedal. And this man hasn't backpedaled one time. And he made this statement months ago, like literally around the time where D Wade and that high priestess witch he married and their son, well, his son, decided to make a spectacle of themselves to the world. So I don't know why they always go to Jay-Z as if he's supposed to be the person to smooth things over, or he's supposed to be the Negro whisperer, because that's what they kind of did with him with the NFL situation. And to be honest, I don't think that really worked at all, in my honest opinion, at all. Like, they tried, but in my honest opinion, they failed. And now you have this. Like I said, he is allowed to have his opinion. It's not like he threatened bodily harm to D Wade or to his son or even to the high priestess witch. He didn't do any of that, but they made it seem like this guy was going to send people to their house to do something to them if he did not change his son's ways. And he didn't do that, but they're trying to make him out to be the boogeyman and the bad guy when he's really not. He's just speaking his mind. But see, the thing is, in this society, black men have for long never been able to have a voice. They've always had to be silent or always had to take a back seat, or people would never ask their opinion of anything that they wanted to address. So they would go over to the person. They would ask a black person, but it would be that one that's going to soft shoe and everything and tap dance. But when you get the real, then they get scared because they know that a black man's opinions and his words hit like a bolt of lightning. It strikes is loud, and it's definitely heard by millions of people when they use that voice. Think of your Malcolm X's or your Marcus Garveys or your Dr. Khalid Muhammad's, and those of that class. That's what they fear. Those kind of alpha black men. That's what they fear. The alpha black man. It's society's worst nightmare. Their worst nightmare, probably even scarier than this virus. But I applaud Boosie for standing firmly on his square. And like I said, people, this is the other thing that got, not to get off topic, this is the other thing that killed me about this situation. People were saying, well, people shouldn't have anything to say about what D Wade and that witch and their son are doing, everything like that. I said we wouldn't have anything to say if they kept their home life private. But no, they had to go out and make it public for the world to know and to be seen. So now you have made it our business. I remember one time I had said that on Twitter. Then I got into a back and forth with one of them strags saying, no, it's not your business. I'm like, yes, it is. It is now because they made it public. Now it's everybody's business, so everybody's going to have an opinion. I don't know what it is with certain people who think that when someone puts something that's supposed to be private out there for public, that we're not supposed to have an opinion on it. But that also goes back into the situation where I was saying where black men aren't allowed to have a voice. Remember what happened when the pet bison had came at Uncle Luke a couple years ago with political things, and she basically said that people like him shouldn't have a voice and everything. Loosely translated, she was saying black men like him should not have a voice. So basically, when he had a voice like that, it almost reminded of a voice that I would have, or Professor Black Truth, or Jason Black, or Harvey, or any other black man that has a powerful speaking voice who speaks on real issues unapologetically. They don't like those type of black men, which is probably why Boosie got so much flack. Because he wasn't going along with the program and the agenda. That's really all it boils down to. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have your notifications turned on, and I'll talk to you in the next one.